welcome back to another live stream on the TKW Facebook page. My name is Kenny, and welcome everybody. Long time no see. I know you guys probably missed me, but we are back in the Weather Center because we have potential. I say potential because we'll break down everything you need to know in this live stream. But today's topic of discussion, you heard it, folks. All hazards of severe weather are likely tomorrow. So that is on the table. So of course we're going to break down the timing, what to expect, and if you should be scared in this live stream. But real quickly, today's sponsor is Kyle over at Loose Fuse Mazda. He's your go-to Mazda expert, and he's offering $500 off all new in-stock vehicles. And you're looking at a live look from Oakville WX, courtesy of Oakville WX. You're watching Team Kenny Weather. And how are you guys doing this evening? Glad to see you guys here. Looks like we got Leslie in here. We got John in here. Looks like we got a couple other people in here. We have Lauren in here. And all the other people that are staring at me because I am good looking. Thank you very much for that compliment. And yeah, so without further ado, we're going to jump right into the live stream because we have a lot of things to talk about and it is a little bit tricky. So we're going to break it down. Everything you need to know, the timing, the impacts, and everything that you need to know. But first, I want to get to real quickly, we did hit 91 degrees for the first time today. This is the first time this year that we have hit 90 degrees. We actually hit 91 degrees at 2:24. This is the observation at the airport. But all that means is summer is here. There's no turning back now. 90-degree temperatures are in the forecast for a while. And the long-term range models also shows the heat sticking around. So I just want to bring that up because summertime is here. So 91 degrees, that's crazy. I knew we were going to hit it sometime this week, as I mentioned in my video, but we have hit it. So, all right, without further ado, we are going to jump into the severe weather risk. So we're not going to hold up any other time. We're going to jump in right into severe weather risk. So severe thunderstorm risk, we do have a severe thunderstorm risk for tonight. So you can see most of the area besides a couple of our friends in around St. Clair County and the Monroe area are excluded from the marginal threat of severe weather. And remember, Tuesday, it says Tuesday night, but the severe weather risk will go all the way until 7 a.m. So keep that in mind when we show you the future radar because we will have some severe storms will be possible Wednesday morning, but the severe weather risk for Tuesday goes all the way until Wednesday morning, so make sure you're aware for that. But everywhere that we cover here on the TKW Facebook page is in a marginal threat for severe weather, a 1 out of 5 on the severe weather scale. All that basically means is that there's going to be an isolated chance of severe weather. Not everybody in this green area is going to see a severe storm, but maybe something like the Warrenton sees it, and that'll be the severe storm for the day. So I want to let you guys know that we are in a 1 out of 5 on the severe weather scale for tonight. I'm happy to report that the tornado risk on your screen here is going to be way out to the west. So there's nothing to worry about all the way up to around 7 a.m. Wednesday. So if you're going to sleep tonight, we'll have some rain, but at least the tornado risk will be low. So now I want to bring your attention to Wednesday because Wednesday is the big day. There's a lot of talks about Wednesday, so we're going to break it down right here. So in the orange, here is an enhanced level of severe weather. So that is a 3 out of 5 on the severe weather scale of seeing severe weather 25 miles within the point. So places like Hillsborough, Potosi, over in St. Clair, like Columbia, Waterloo, all the way into Madison County, is in the 3 out of 5 on the severe weather scale. Now, everywhere to the northwest of that is in a 2 out of 5 on the severe weather scale. And that includes like Troy, Herman, the St. Louis City, St. Charles, and the bulk of our viewers, and the slight risk. And then as you go towards the north west over near Kirksville, you're in a marginal threat for severe weather. Now, you're probably wondering, what all does that mean? Well, you came to the right place because we're going to let you know what all this means, which means we have a tornado risk. So we have a slight chance of a tornado risk. This is a 5% chance of seeing a tornado within 25 miles of a point, and unfortunately, everybody is in this severe weather tornado potential risk. So everybody is in a risk of seeing potentially tornado. Now, I don't think they will be strong like that EF3 tornado that went through the city. It's not going to be like that, but maybe a quick spin up or two will be possible, and of course we'll show you that in the future radar here in just a second. But want to bring your attention over to the wind department. Wind department, another fine line here, almost where the enhanced risk. This is why we have the enhanced risk of the 3 out of 5. So enhanced risk of wind, which means anything greater than 60 miles per hour. So 60 plus if you're down here like Festus, Potosi, all the way into Illinois besides Jerseyville, and a little bit of the Madison County area, will have 60 mile per hour wind gusts being possible. Now, to the yellow area, once again, that is the slight risk of seeing damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. So everywhere in the yellow, we probably won't see 60 plus, but we'll see 55, 60 miles per hour winds with this system coming through on Wednesday. Now, if you're just tuned in, we'll go over the timing in just a second, but we're breaking down everything here. That is why we have the risk. So hail department, good news in the hail department. You guys are going to be excited. We are not really looking at anything crazy in the hail department. We're not going to see any baseballs. We're not going to catch any foul balls outside during the severe weather event, but a slight risk of severe weather for all the areas that we cover here. We'll have a chance of seeing about an inch in diameter of hail. So that is the severe weather risk. Now we're going to go to the timing, and I want to let you guys know when we go to the timing, I don't really, in my personal opinion, real quickly, in my personal opinion, I do not believe this outlook. I think this outlook is a little bit over dramatic, and you're probably wondering why. And I'll just give it to you real quickly before we get into timings, because we have a lot of factors being in play. So let's go into the future radar here. How's your guys' evening going? Glad to see everybody here. So I have the time popped up for you and the top part of the screen so you can follow along here. And let's get the latest data. So the latest data comes around like 8 o'clock, but we have this one to do just fine. So you can see timing on the screen. This is Tuesday evening. We will have some showers and thunderstorms that are going to be likely this evening. So we will have some thunderstorms tonight. None of this that you see here on the screen is going to be severe. And the timing here, just wanted to show you guys that. So those thunderstorms are going to be rolling on through. You can see it here around 9 p.m. They'll start to fade out. Now, here is the bulk of the situation here. So with this system, there's fail modes, and fail modes basically mean that there's going to be some factors that could limit the severe weather risk where it might not even happen. So I'm going to walk you through it here. Overnight, we're not going to have any problems. So you're going to get a very good night's sleep on tonight after this live stream. You'll have very good night's sleep. Now, once we get into the early morning hours out the door, you can see this is 4 a.m. We'll have some scattered isolated thunderstorms around the area early morning, especially out to the west. Now, any of these that you see here that I circled around Rolla and near the Warrenton area, that is where the severe weather risk starts. That first severe weather risk that I told you, this that marginal threat, the 1 out of 5, that's what this is for. So maybe an isolated severe storm or two will be possible early in the morning. I am not expecting anything really, but you can see the rain fades out as it continues east around 6 a.m. So as you're waking up around 6 a.m., nothing's really going to be happening, nothing concerning. Now, I want you to pay attention here because it's going to be math time. So you see this system here. Let me go to the marker. You see this rain here. The rain is at 7 a.m. Now, remember that, okay? The rain is at 7 a.m. Here's 9 a.m., 10 a.m. You see how we still have the rain mainly north of I-70? That this is not going to be the severe part, but once we get into the evening time, you can see a line of thunderstorms start to build up. This has about 4 p.m. is when the thunderstorms start to build up. And as it moves off to the east, this is around the evening time, so the evening commute might have some problems because the severe storms will be rocking and rolling along the cold front. Here is the cold front, everybody. This long line here, this is the cold front that's moving across the area. This is at 7 p.m., 8 p.m. So right around 8 p.m. is when we really see the thunderstorms get going around most of the area here. And once again, it's along a line which will normally reduce the tornado threat but enhance the damaging wind threat. So when you have storms along a line like this, you're mainly looking at a damaging wind threat, and that's why we have the 3 out of 5 on the severe weather scale is for the wind. Now you can see as we go into the evening time, most of the rain starts to fade out and we're left with a couple showers as we go into the overnight hour, which will not be severe as we go into Thursday morning, so that's nothing to worry about there. So that is the timing, but I want to let you guys know something. Because there's a lot of, I would say there's a lot of talk about the severe weather, and I have seen different sources break it down differently, but I want to let you know my personal thinking on this situation. So, you see how that is basically just the timing, just a quick timing forecast here, but I want to break it down even more for you. So, you see this system around 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. right here. You see how we still have storms out to the west? Well, in order to produce storms, you need to have energy. Well, the energy that's being taken up for the severe weather event here for the evening is right here. So you see how we have morning storms and it's sticking around. It's not for everybody, but you see how mostly the storms are staying around throughout the day. 10 a.m., 11 a.m., we still have the storms up to our north, which will bring in the cloud cover here. And that is one of the fail modes that will happen. Let me get the timing right here. Thank you, Mom, for the donation. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. But that is one of the fail modes because you can see we're not having any clearing throughout the day. You can see we have a little bit of rain that's popping up through the afternoon time all the way through where the cold front arrives. So a lot of our energy, in my personal opinion, is being taken up in the morning. I think we'll have too much cloud cover and rain in the morning to really have a severe weather threat in the evening. I think the outlook, in my opinion, is like over dramatic. I think it's like over talking the situation more than it is. Because if you look here, around 6 p.m., 7 p.m., we have thunderstorms, but there's no time for the atmosphere to recharge. So in order to have these storms are going to have thunderstorms. There's going to be lightning and thunderstorms, but they're not going to have any severe potential to it because the energy is already taken up. The atmosphere is going to be cool, it's going to be stable, and I just don't personally think that we're going to see a full-blown severe weather event, a 3 out of 5 enhanced risk, where we really need to get concerned. Now, that could always change because it could rain shorter, there could be no rain, But I think, in my personal opinion, as you're going to sleep tonight, I really think the severe weather risk for Wednesday evening, tomorrow evening, is not going to be as significant as everybody's making this be. Because if you're just tuning in, I'll show you one more time. Most of the day, not everybody, but most of the day, we're going to have either cloud cover or rain. And the sun can't come out, and we need the sun, especially in these summertime events when we have these typical setups. We need the sun as much as possible to get the severe weather risk that is forecasted. But I don't think it's forecasted. I personally think the severe weather risk might get downgraded, in my opinion. But I will show you a sounding here. We'll just show a quick sounding here. This is around 8 p.m. And basically all a sounding is you blow up a weather balloon into the atmosphere at this time, and it shows you what you're doing. So I'll show you a weather balloon sample here. And let's see if we can get this going here. Okay, so a lot of stuff on your screen. Don't panic. It'll be okay. So the main thing I want to look at is the bottom part here. So you see where we have this. You guys are going to learn something today. So you see how we have the CAPE values. It says CAPE right here. And then it has like SFC, which is surface. Well, we need this. This is right when it's supposed to be the severe weather event. It's at 168. Now, we need it for severe weather up near 1500. So you can see we're not even close. The mid-level atmosphere, basically the mid-level energy to start any action, is at 26. So the model, aka weather balloon, is forecasting no energy with the system, which really means that the severe weather risk is going to be reduced, in my opinion. I personally don't think the severe weather risk will be anything significant. And plus, we'll be nice and stable with the atmosphere. You can see the lines here. We have a slight little dip in there that indicates a small little stabilization happening, which prevents storms to really become severe. So that is possible to happen as well. So I think the fail mode in this case right now, and plus our weather balloon, we need the arc to look like this for any tornado potential, and we're not even close. So there's a lot of things that are not in our favor. Well, it's in your guys' favor, but in the severe weather favor. Let's see. Tab. Okay. Where am I at? I think I'm right here. Okay, lost my tab. Everybody. 1 second, technical difficulties. But we're going to go over the timing one more time, because I really do think that there is going to be a fail mode that prevents these severe storms. So we'll go over to timing over this model here. I just got to get everything set up because I clicked the wrong button. Classic Kenny. Stephanie says, love your updates. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yes, I think it was funny because I was watching another live update. If you guys were curious, I was watching another live update before my stream, and basically there's a lot of, like, I'll show you basically what we're all talking about here. So this is the NAM model. NAM model means never accurate model, but sometimes it can be. So timing, once again, this is just another perspective of the weather model. I think this does fantastic. So once again, as you're watching a live stream, thunderstorms are building out to the west, moving east. They'll eventually die off as they get to the Illinois side. No factor there. We're monitoring it just in case anything does happen. But as we go into Wednesday, you can see Wednesday morning, those showers and thunderstorms really don't make it to our area. It'll really be close if we see anything significant. But of course, we'll be keeping you updated. But anything that does get close does have potential to become severe. That's why we do have the severe weather risk for the morning time. But as we go into the afternoon, you can see here, this is Wednesday afternoon, 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m. And as we go into the evening rush, another line of storms start to build out here along the cold front. You can see the cold front right here. This is the evening time. And it starts to move to the east. And by the time we get to 10 p.m., look at all this clutter. This is what you call storm clutter. Isolated storms. So basically what the Storm Prediction Center is forecasting, I am not seeing it with the data, but I do think most of the day will be basically what happens during the day is Mother Nature is not going to be able to recharge, which is good, everybody, because we don't want her to recharge. And basically the simplest way to tell you how to understand it. So basically, here's the easy way to understand it. This is like first grade level understanding, folks, okay? So, basically what the atmosphere has to do is that it's going to rain, so your battery is going to be at 0. And the rain is going to come through, and you plug it in to the charger, and nothing happens because you forgot that you plug it into the charger. So your phone's at 0 all day, not charging. And then by the time it gets to around 3, 4, 5 o'clock, you plug it in and you hope it gets to 100% by the end of the day. So basically what that means is that Mother Nature is not going to have any time to recharge the atmosphere. Yeah, because even here on the sounding, it's not showing anything impressive. The energy for this system is not showing anything, but I would watch out for the evening time as well, because it can always change. Things can always change where we wake up and it's like, oh my goodness, we do have a severe weather event, but I am just not seeing it at this current moment. So we'll go to my favorite page out of all pages on the universe here. This is courtesy of the National Weather Service. Okay. So, we're going to go over this very quickly here. So, last thing is Wednesday afternoon. This is the severe weather threat matrix. This is basically what we are seeing here, or what to expect. So, tornado is going to be very low. So that's going to be good. And maybe a weak EF0 or so will be possible. But once again, I think the tornado threat will be very low, but not 0. So let's just keep that in mind here. And then hail department, scattered chances of hail. Not really seeing anything concerning with this. But some quarter-sized hail will be possible if we do end up seeing any severe potential. Now we go to the wind department. Once again, this is not a high grade severe weather event, but damaging winds coverage of storms will be scattered, so we'll see a lot of places potentially, if this severe weather event works out, reaching up to about 60 miles per hour for the expected wind gusts. So like I said, the severe weather tomorrow is definitely something to watch, but it's not anything I would get overly concerned. Like, I think you'll be okay going to sleep tonight and not have to worry about tomorrow, is what I'm saying. But of course, we will be live covering the system if it does happen, because like I said, even in the National Weather Service, they are still not confident because there's uncertainty remains in exactly how far north the favorable environment extends, which means how much moisture can recover after those morning storms. So, but if anything does happen, we do expect Wednesday afternoon and evening for the severe weather potential. But I think most of the area will probably be just fine. But we'll make updates throughout the morning. And of course, we'll have our live stream if needed as well. So, but I think for the couple people that are here, I think in my opinion, like, let's see. Let's get the severe weather outlook pulled up here. I really do think, in my opinion, everyone. I think this threat is going to shift this way. So I think the enhanced, most of the people probably won't be enhanced. And then the slight risk and the marginal will probably get pushed this way. But that is what I'm thinking. But of course, if overnight data changes, we'll let you know on the Facebook page first thing in the morning. So make sure you're watching out for that and you're checking back regularly for updates. And we'll have a live stream of the severe weather event if needed, which I think we probably will, but let's hope not, which means no severe weather. Lastly, but not least, current radar update. Wow, we actually have a decent amount of storms out there. Okay, you guys can't hear me? We'll keep on here. Sorry about that. But what I was saying is that most of these storms will probably fizzle out once it gets to the Illinois side. No severe weather is expected with this, but some strong storms, heavy rain, and lightning can be expected throughout the evening. So nothing to worry about there, but we'll be tracking this all night long just in case anything goes crazy, but I think we'll be okay. But don't be surprised if you hear, especially in Warrenton and Franklin County and Lincoln County, if you hear some strong thunderstorms, but nothing is severe. So there's a lot of big ifs, there's a lot of uncertainties about tomorrow. So of course we'll keep you updated. I'll review the data after this live stream and we'll post updates as needed. So if there's not any questions or comments or concerns, I think we're going to roll off here. And we'll keep checking the data. And yes. So you think the severe weather risk will probably most likely not happen? We won't rule out the severe weather risk. The severe weather risk is there, but I just don't think it's going to be scary, in my opinion. But of course that will change, but we'll have to wait till 1 a.m. to see what the Storm Prediction Center thinks. But I think the severe weather threat, if trends hold like this, I think we're in a good favor. I think we're in a good position where the morning storms will prevent us in the evening to have strong storms. So that is that. Okay, Matthew says, thanks for the update. You're very welcome. Suzanne says, have a wonderful evening. I will. I hope you do the same. And yes, we're just monitoring the storms here. Nothing severe, but we went over the update, timing, the risk, the outlooks, analyze what we actually think is going to happen. So if you're just tuning in, we're wrapping up the live stream, but feel free about 5 minutes or so to jump back into the early part of the stream and you'll be able to watch the full coverage, the full breakdown of the Wednesday severe weather event. So without further ado, if nobody has any more questions, comments, or concerns, we're going to head out here, review the data, and we'll keep posting updates for you on the Team Kenny weather page. Looks like no questions, comments, concerns, recipes, dinner recipes. Mom said thanks, you're very welcome. No problem. Alrighty, without further ado, I think we're going to wrap it up. And we'll be monitoring these storms just in case they go crazy. Not expecting anything, but thanks for tuning in on the Team Kenny Weather live stream. And we're your trusted local source for severe weather and all weather information for the St. Louis area. Good night, everybody. If you're wondering why I'm looking at it, I always got to find the outro. So, if you guys, I know I got a couple questions about that. All right. Have a good night, everybody. We'll talk to you probably tomorrow. We'll probably see you tomorrow. And have a good night.